the Republican position on abortion is shared by like 80% of the population. The Democrat position, which is abortion up to the point of birth, and in the case in Virginia, you're talking like abortion after birth, where you put the baby on a table and keep the baby comfortable while people make decisions. I mean, it's crazy. It's nuts.
Well,
That's the
those
Democrat
were the words
position.
of then Governor Northam. That was Governor Northam that said that.
Right. And that stuff is so wacko crazy. And Republicans have to learn, as Kayleigh said, have to learn how to talk about this and explain how wacko extreme Democrats are on this issue. Strictly pro-life people are not going to be happy with the end result of what you get. They'll be happy to start with the 15 weeks. They'll be happy to bring some sort of reasonable sanity to this, because when Democrats get their way, it is full 9 months and possibly beyond.
Conservatives are talking about abortion rights again, but this time they're not high-stepping and celebrating their decades-long promise to get the Supreme Court to overturn Roe. Now that the political repercussions of their unpopular position are resulting in unexpected losses at the ballot box, some are pulling back on advocating for a nationwide zero-tolerance ban, while others still double down on their scare tactics.
In this one respect, I have to call you out because you're not being honest on the issue. We can debate abortion, but there isn't abortion in the 9th month.
Mika, you're the one who's not being honest. I did not say there was abortion in the 9th month. What I said was that the law in New Jersey and New York and Illinois and California permits it. And you can't deny that that's the truth, because it is. And so look,
it doesn't happen,
don't call
Chris.
somebody a liar. Don't call.
I'm
don't
not
call
calling you a liar. It's not
nor
honest.
Did I, by the way, Mika. Nor did I say that it did.
Let's have an honest discussion about the issue.
Well, let's have an honest discussion about the issue.
But it doesn't happen.
Why don't you answer my question? Why don't you answer my question? Does the law permit it in those states? Well, that's all I said. So I don't understand what your problem is with that. In the end, if that's what the law permits, that's what the people who passed those laws said is okay, is legally permissible.
Chris, and there are women who are in extreme situations who need health care, and they should get it.
But
exactly.
Don't mess with me on the law, Mika. I know that.
Yeah, don't mess with me on how women feel about using the 9th month argument on the issue of abortion.
Chris Christie is trying to use laws in states that Republicans have been trained to automatically dismiss as too liberal to convince them that Democrats advocate for abortion access so that they can satisfy Satan's wishes or something. It's an argument that needed to be fact-checked by Reuters, who pointed out that the states of California, New York, and Illinois allow abortions until fetal viability, generally reached at 24 to 48 weeks. And those states have legislation allowing abortion after fetal viability if the pregnant person's life or health is threatened. Also, that about 1% of abortions nationwide are later in pregnancy. That's after 21 weeks, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Those clarifications would allow people to realize the humanity behind the laws, but you can't cultivate a rapidly angry and misinformed voting bloc without convincing your voters that their opponent's objective here is to kill as many babies as possible. So even Sean Hannity notices that Americans don't agree with their hardline stances, but he still can't fully admit it.
Democrats are trying to scare women into thinking Republicans don't want abortion legal under any circumstances. And I go back to Pennsylvania 2022. The Republican candidate for governor, if I remember correctly, no exceptions for rape, incest, or the mother's life, and lost to a non-incumbent gubernatorial candidate, Democratic candidate, by a margin that was not seen since the 1940s. So I have to believe that is an indication that the women in America, suburban moms, want it probably legal and rare and probably earlier than, at the point of viability.
He's moving slightly away from the stances of that failed gubernatorial candidate, but still can't say that Republicans rallied around that same agenda. Steve Ducey also took notice.
Ultimately, it comes down to the Democrats have a really potent issue, and that is abortion, because, ever since Roe v. Wade was overturned, pretty much every time the Democrats have run on abortion, they have won. And here's the bad, and was last night a harbinger for 2024, as you were alluding to, Ainsley? Absolutely. You know why? Because there are opponents and proponents trying to put abortion rights on the ballots in the states of Florida, Nevada, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. So it's going to be, you know, if you're a Republican running in those states, you're going to have a tough 2024.
Nikki Haley's hoping to not have a tough 2024 on this issue, though, and it was evident in her answer on the Republican stage, which she spoke about again afterwards.
One of those voters talked about you and your answer as it relates to abortion access and what you would push for here. You were, it seems, pushing the pragmatic in your response about what can actually get passed in Washington and what cannot. Do you believe that your competitors on stage are missing something in the dynamic here?
Well, I think the fellas deal with this differently. I look at it from the perspective that this is personal for every woman and every man in America. I had a roommate who was raped in college. I wouldn't wish on anyone what she went through wondering if she was pregnant. What I'll tell you is I'm totally pro-life in every way whatsoever. I just don't judge someone for being pro-choice any more than I want them to judge me for being pro-life. So when you're looking at this, I don't want to see this divide. Women don't want to be divided over this. I want this in the hands of the people. I want it at the states level. But if you're going to talk about a federal bill, at least be honest with the American people. Don't make them, you've got Democrats making people feel scared that something's going to happen, and you've got Republicans trying to push something that's not even realistic.